do the awkward, like, welcome back to the podcast.
Welcome back to Thought Daughter. Oh my god.
We're with 3 other thought daughters.
The thoughtiest of the thoughts.
The thoughtiest of the thoughts. All right, welcome back to the Thought Daughter podcast. I'm Nina DeGroot, and today I have 3 of my favorite people here. They're just amazing. Do we want to do a little introduction? Let's just go around. Everyone can say name and just something fun about you that you would like the world to know. And by the world, the 12 people that will be watching this.
I'm Josee. I don't know. I have a lizard. Boom. Perfect.
Boom. There we go.
First thing that came to my head.
Josee has a lizard.
Ashley, Villi. Music. I love music. Connoisseur.
Okay, so this is my lovely friend Brooklyn. For some reason, when she tried to introduce herself, the mic decided to completely freak out on us. So this is Brooklyn.
Oh yeah, I'm a horror fanatic.
All right. Today we're going to be talking about modern art and how it can be stupid. Unfortunately, modern art has a lot going on, and it's kind of angering, and I hate it. I love art. I've been making art forever, and recently, over the past few years, there have been some videos that have gone viral of very interesting art pieces that are not the greatest in my opinion. If you heard that sigh, we all have very similar opinions on some of these art pieces. For example, just for a little hook, have you seen the viral video of the sand buckets toppling over?
I have not seen those.
Oh, I'll show you. Oh, it's rough. Have you seen the one with the banana tapes to the wall?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. I know there's gonna be people that are gonna be insulted by this, but you have to admit it. Like, there are people who spent their entire lives trying to perfect their art, doing like incredible paintings and stuff, and this person is coming in and tipping over buckets and saying, that's a multi-million piece right there.
Oh, hon, if you're angry about people spending so much time on artwork for people to come in and do something so simple, you just get ready for one of these pieces I'm going to mention.
Is it the one I'm
be like, oh, yeah, it's the one I told you about on the way here.
This one makes me so mad.
First of all, I want to talk about what are your guys' definitions of art? Like, if someone said, what is art?
God.
That's a deep question. Guys, this is the deep part of the podcast for me. But I'm genuinely curious. For me, I think of art as something that is beautiful, and I think it is an expression of your own mind and your own thoughts. I think it can be an inside look at someone's brain, and I also think it should be something that provokes thought and emotion and something that people can relate to. And I think that can come in forms of paintings, music, photography. I think it can even come in forms of like expression, like dance and movement.
Oh yeah, that definitely
100%, yeah.
I think even just like speeches. I think words can be art. Do you guys have any agree, disagree with mine?
I'll start.
I personally think that art is, along with, I think I agreed with like basically everything you were saying, but I also think it's something that brings you joy and like kind of ignites your internal flame and almost just makes you internally happy, whether that's like you're like analyzing the photo or like you're analyzing the dance or whatever. It can be something that is creative, and it's like, yeah, like an expression of your soul, and it's like kind of like, it's almost like you're showing the fire that you have for everyone. So I think that sometimes even sports can be included in art.
I mean, I don't agree with saying athletic ability can be art because it's completely different.
I think that's
as someone who has played sports for my whole life, I would never call that my artistic ability because I also do art.
And tell me if I'm wrong, I don't think you were meaning like sports or art. I think you were meaning anything that brings you passion and joy, even if that means a physical activity, can be your art.
Phrased like that, I agree with it.
Yes, thank you. I
rephrase
we get each other. You say it for me.
So you two are just very emotional and deep thinkers. I'm very scientifical logic.
Let's go. the empathic.
I feel like you guys covered it pretty well. Art can be incredibly different. Like, we're proof of that. Like, you're a painter. You're an incredible painter. You do all these things. I make sculptures and crafts, and they're still both art, but, like, they're completely different in a way. But I feel like it's a lot of the thought behind it is a major part. I don't know. I feel like you guys covered it pretty well.
I see art as something with, like, the principles of art, like form, shape, color, value, texture, all of that. Me and Nina have a art history class.
Shout out Mr. Pack, we love
you. Love you, real one. He was also our art teacher. I think of it more as that to be like art, but then also there's like abstract art that I think is like different, because with also like passion, art can also be determined on the statements behind it. So I know we're probably going to go over this later, but like the sand falling over, that can also be argued to have a statement with it, and that could be art. That people can relate to that and be like, oh my gosh, that provokes emotion.
You're trying to make
That can make that art.
See,
Yeah.
my one issue with that is that it can be interpreted that way for sure, but like it completely depends on the thought process before the project. Using the sand tipping over, you can't tip over the sand and then say what it means. Like, you're going to be like, okay, I'm going to tip out over sand, but what should that mean? Like, no, that doesn't work. If you were to put so much meaning behind it, we don't know the full thought process behind what that guy was thinking when he thought, hey, I'm going to tip over the sand. Maybe he had something big behind it. But it's the fact that they do leave it so much up to interpretation that it makes it seem like there is nothing there.
Yeah, exactly.
One thing I also think, let me see if I can phrase this the right way, because you look at people like Van Gogh. He was mentally ill when he created a lot of his artwork. He was not thinking, I'm going to look out of my window of this mental institution I'm in and paint this valley that I see, and it means this. He was doing that strictly because it made him happy.
Even still, that has meaning behind it. It gives him happiness. It like, there's still different types of meaning.
Whether it be emotional or mental.
It doesn't
or
have to be like,
physical
oh, this represents like the mental stroke. Like, no, it doesn't need that. It can just be like, hey, this is something I had. This is something that made me happy. I guess I just can't see it behind some modern
You can't
art
see
pieces.
the connection. You can't see the...
And that's kind of why I wanted to open up with us talking about our different opinions on what art actually is, because it goes so many different ways. And there's not a right or a wrong answer, because art is different to anyone.
Yeah.
With that in mind, sometimes I don't understand what are going through some people's heads when they create.
Exactly.
Because some of these pieces of art we're going to go over are so absurd and look like they have little to no meaning, or the meaning is so obscure and random that it does not make any sense. For example, if I were to make an art piece about a roller coaster I've never been on, and the entire mood of the art piece was how happy that roller coaster was, I don't feel like I should be creating that piece if I've never even experienced the roller coaster. If I saw a picture of a roller coaster online and I decide to make a piece about people on that roller coaster, where it is, how it was made, when I have little to no knowledge or experience with that thing, I feel like, why are you making that piece of art? I get if it's just something to pass the time, but if you're really trying to make a statement about something, make sure you're making a statement about something that you have experience with and knowledge about.
If you've never been on a roller coaster in your entire life, how would you really know?
For the people watching the videos and also listening to the audio either on Spotify or YouTube, I will now put a few of the pieces on the screen that I absolutely adore and I think have such great meaning. And if you have the time, please, please, please go look up some of these pieces because they are gorgeous and beautiful.
Stunning.
10 out of 10.
I will put a few of those on the screen and you guys can look through a few of those to see where my idea of art is. I think we should jump into some of these weird pieces. For the first piece where you're going to go over, Roman Signer's Sand Bucket Art.
We're starting off with that
If
one.
I am pronouncing that wrong, please let me know. I'm trying to the best of my ability.
We're just a girl.
If we say things
Signer
wrong, don't attack.
created a piece of artwork that was basically a giant pillar of sand buckets. Each one was filled with sand,
I have seen
Oh, like
this.
vertically?
I have seen
Upright
this.
vertically?
upright vertically. This
Sand buckets on the floor.
This is about Roman Signer's piece on ccsbard.edu. Basically, it says Roman Signer's sand column is composed by 8 to 12 buckets of sand that are stacked on top of each other like a column. The lowest bucket has a tiny hole in its side, approximately 10 millimeters in diameter. Some sand leaks through it, and the column will thus become slanted and eventually fall over. So as this bottom one loses sand, they start to get lower and tip, and the center of gravity gets thrown off, and they tip. There is a viral video, which I will try and put in this video with the credits, of course, of this happening, and it's basically him activating it. So, like, unclogging or unplugging the hole, and the sand starts filling out, and you slowly see it start to tip, and then it falls. And as it falls, all of a sudden you hear everyone in this room go, and you hear pictures start going, and I'm like, guys, are you joking?
Have you ever seen
It's buckets of sand falling over.
Have you ever gone to the beach and accidentally knocked over a bucket?
That's
I think the reaction is what
First off, if you feel so strongly, if you are watching this or listening to this and you think, wait, that seems like such a cool, amazing piece, find a group of 5-year-olds, give them all a sand bucket, make them make a pillar and make one cut a hole in the side of the bottom sand bucket and let them have a fun time at the beach. That is all you need. Personally, I don't see any meaning in this one.
It's more the talent. I don't see the talent. This is something anyone can do. Why are you making multi-millions off of a piece that anyone is?
Because it did. It was so popular. It went famous. If you see this video and you saw or heard things about it, it's because it went viral. I remember it going viral on TikTok. I remember it going viral a lot of places. I remember there was a news article about it that I read. It is insane to me that someone can make artwork that anyone else can make. If you are going to make artwork, put effort into it. Make it something that cannot be replicated.
I want to see the thought process. I want to see the talent. I want to see the like emotion and the amount of talent and like thought that you put into your. It doesn't. I just don't. You know, like there was no. It doesn't really make me feel like that was really thought about. That doesn't really make me feel like their heart and soul was put into that. Like I just don't feel the emotion with it. You know.
And from my knowledge, it wasn't even an installation. Like it wasn't left there.
It wasn't left?
Exhibit.
They just cleaned it up?
From what I know, from what I have heard and know, it happened, it was an exhibit, and now it is no longer in the museum.
So they just sweeped it up, and they're like, okay, that's it. Now this incredible art is in the vacuum.
It's also one piece of art that I genuinely, like, when I can feel the emotion behind the art, like, that's how I connect with an art piece, and it's just like, that makes me feel like, okay, let's make a Walmart trip, get 10 buckets, a bunch of sand, boom.
Fun date idea, we create crap modern art.
Wait, but that also, like, this whole thing, I don't count it as art now. I don't think that. But also, could this be something else then? Because I feel like there are certain things where there is nothing put into it, but you can still relate to it and feel like it represents something in your life. And that can still have meaning. Not necessarily by that person, but by something else. And that doesn't necessarily have to be art. So is there a way we can also categorize these by something else that's not art?
I can see if the point of modern art is like, we want you to evoke your own feelings, we want you to get your own opinions on it. I could see that. Maybe there is like, like how I interpret the bucket of sand falling could mean something completely different than how you interpret it.
And that can also be the art too, is the difference that everybody has.
It's just, what angers me is the lack of talent. These people have spent years in their lives putting so much to perfecting their artwork, and then there's people who just come in and they're like, I am a professional.
$50 Target run.
Yeah, this is professional artwork. I took my shoe off and threw it and said, that's art.
So it's also like, I don't think art should be categorized by how much money you spend on it or how much time you spent learning
money,
it.
No. But putting effort and
there should be effort and there should be emotion.
So there should be time. I believe there should be time. Like, it doesn't, I'm not saying this one artwork.
On a piece. I'm saying time that you have learned how to do this stuff. Like, that also puts to a better artist, but some people are just better at it than others.
Yeah, that's definitely a valid point.
But
like,
I don't think range of ability should also determine what is art.
Yeah, because everyone's art is different. I'm talking about, like, no, this one art piece shouldn't have taken, like, that's not what matters. It's still perfecting your skill. Not, like, you don't even have to be perfect at it, but you need to put effort into it. You can't just be a perfect painter and be like, okay, well, that's it. Like, I'm
you can't
wonderful.
Just, like, stack things on top of each other and be like, guys, this is my beautiful piece of art. You know what I mean?
See,
like, it just kind of makes all the other. Well, I mean, you can. I don't know. It's just
even with like professional.
It's like a blurry gray line, and it's just
such a blurry gray line there. Because like him, I could say he had to go out buy those buckets, and then he had to get the sand and put them in that, cut it out. And use like physics to figure out how to make it fall.
Yeah, we could also go down the route where he's
basic, like... it's a basic understanding of physics, though. There's not even like, this guy had to actually have studied this. No, if something empties below it, it's gonna shift. Like,
I think that we could also go down the route where it's like, but he this represents this, and the where he had this huge big interpretation, this huge meaning behind it. We could go down that, but then again, I don't have the artist statement, so I can't tell you. But at the same time, I feel like it truly does depend on the people. And I think, if you really like modern art and you think it's beautiful and it brings you joy, that's cool for you. That's great. I don't like it, and I don't think it should be considered art. But if you like it,
I'm not saying this is art. I do not find this an
Yeah.
art piece at all in any way.
This is
I'm not
I don't
saying
think
it.
it's
I'm
just
just
fair. If you
arguing
enjoy
it
it,
could be
great.
something else.
Yeah.
And it could be like not like
it
completely
could be a different
frowned
type
upon.
of art.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
I
could be
actually I
like-
don't want to call it art at all.
it could be a different type, like a
Yeah, I don't like how broad
visual
art,
representation.
the word
type
art
vibe.
is, like what art represents. I don't like how broad it is.
See, I actually
I think
love
there
how
should
broad
be
it is. Art can be so many.
It could
She
be
just
so
means
many
when it comes
things.
to like
It can
what
be
is art,
things-
what isn't art.
Yeah, like I feel like it's so broad. I feel like we could come up with other things that it could be named.
Okay.
Yeah.
On the note of the sand buckets, luckily, we're not the only people that hate it. This was obviously a very controversial piece in the art world,
yeah.
not because of the subject matter, but because it seems stupid. I found a Reddit thread with some very hilarious responses.
Oh, I love Reddit.
One of the first ones is, "I hate that this passes for art." Agreed.
I hate that. Yeah.
Someone agreeing to that says, "I agree, art is an amazing human achievement. This is nonsense."
Yes.
And I unfortunately agree.
Wait, can I
Shout out.
say something real quick? Art should also show the evolution of a human mind.
Literally. Yep.
That is
Yep.
one of the main things
Yep,
I
yep, yep,
personally
yep.
believe. Evolution. It should show that. This does not show that.
It should show growth of the human mind.
if this is our evolution,
Oh, we're screwed.
I don't want to see the rest of it.
guys, we're going downhill. We're not going up.
We're going downhill
Peak
quick.
and we're going down.
We are the buckets.
Another response on this says, "If you clap for this, you are such a twat," with 6 A's.
No, yeah.
Modern art is wildly exhausting. This looks like, and this is like, this is a adult. Like, this is a I don't even think middle-aged man. I can't even remember how old.
This is a
he
white man.
If you look
Yeah,
at
this
the
is a white
man,
man.
he looks older. And I'm like, this is a adult man's trip to the beach.
If this happened on the beach, I think everyone would walk past and not think a thing about it. They're gonna think, oh, just some person playing with sand.
This looks like an elementary
Where's
school
his 5-year-olds?
sandbox.
Why is
But
this
also-
adult playing with sand?
No, that also could be, if it was on the beach, it also could be already, like, if you grew up there or something like that.
See,
Then
that's
that could be art.
completely different.
Yeah,
If
I
you're
know.
getting like a picture of this, but I mean, like, if you were walking down the beach
And
and
he
you
was
saw
doing this?
someone
No.
tip over sand, you're not going to think second
maybe
about it.
the
But because
8
it
to
happened
12
in a museum
You'll be
or in an
me stopping
exhibit,
on the beach when you tip over.
Maybe the
an
8 to
exhibit.
12, if it's like, maybe it's on the beach. Like, maybe if it was on the beach, it's like, oh yes, me and my grandchildren came to this beach and we played a lot, and I always brought sand buckets.
You
for
could
them
be
all. The 8
something-
to 12 buckets are the amount of grandkids I have, and they're all stacked on top of each
Yeah,
other.
that's
But
what
there's
I'm
also
saying.
not.
That's not.
This is sand buckets falling over, and I'm gonna try and
In an
find
exhibit,
the artist
too.
statement for him in a minute. But after we find this,
The artist statement is simply the buckets.
someone else said, "I've been doing this since I was a kid. This is just another way of money laundering. Nothing more, nothing less. Frick modern art, quotes art. No wonder AI is replacing it. Is this a joke? Question mark. Someone else says, this is garbage. This guy is buffoon. I seriously hope this wasn't paid for with tax dollars.
If this is where my tax money is going, I'm gonna stop paying taxes. Lock me up for tax
Tax
evasion.
fraud.
Lock me up.
I'm looking at the artist statement now.
Oh, you are? What does it say?
Yeah, so
Let's see if we're being shallow and stupid, or if
Yeah, watch
it
this be
doesn't
like-
make tons of
Watch
sense.
this be like, this is representing my dead mother, and we're like, this is disgusting, this is ugly.
So the first thing that comes up is Roman signers, sand bucket sculptures explore themes of change, impermanence, and the passage of time.
Bro, that's like saying the apple fell from the tree.
Again,
Boom.
it's what it
For
seems
me,
like.
it's like if you really thought of those themes and you really deeply wanted to express
could've been other ways.
those things, why are you doing something so simple? If you want to create a message, part of that is putting in effort. Nothing
Make it extravagant.
nothing good and incredible and something that is going to make people think is going to come with little effort. If you want to make a difference, you have to put effort in. So that angers me a little bit. That does not help whatsoever. I feel like we've gotten mad at this piece enough. Do we want to go on to another piece? Basically, the next one.
Oh, I hate this piece.
Please tell me I'm reading that
Catalan,
title
yeah.
wrong.
Oh, you'll see. This artwork is by Maurizio Catalan. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. And it is a ripe banana taped to the wall with duct tape. Duct tape.
Is that the explanation? Right, banana taped to wall.
Oh my gosh, it is so small on that wall.
I need to see this. Let me
This
see
is
this.
from the New York Times. I'm going to read it. This is from the New York Times by Zachary Small. This was published on November 20th, 2024. This was recent. I don't know when this piece was originally made, but this is when it was sold.
It was sold?
Oh,
Someone bought this?
A banana that for years has stirred controversy in the art world sold for $6.2 million.
Bro, go to the grocery store. Boom.
Okay, this at the Sotheby's Contemporary Art Auction on Wednesday night.
Here's my
showpiece.
question.
I think that's how you call it.
Did they cut the drywall out, or did they just untape the banana and go tape it up in his house? Oh, that's my $6.2
You like-
million
Yeah,
art
it rots. Like what?
Wait, was it a real banana?
Yeah.
See, that would be kind of cool if it wasn't a real banana and it was like he made it out of
Then it would be
something.
like, oh, you put
Yeah.
effort into this. No, it's a real banana.
Bro went to Walmart.
And you know it's a real banana because there is a video that went viral of the guy who bought it, taking the banana off the wall and peeling it and eating it.
Who has that much money?
Why is that kind of iconic?
I honestly love
kind
it
of
so
iconic.
much. That's so funny to me because it just shows.
Imagine
But
oh my god.
That's comedy, not
how much
art.
did your lunch cost you today? $6.2 million.
Imagine just dropping 6.2 million on a banana and then just casually just peeling it and eating
Probably
it.
wasn't even good. It was on display for a few days.
Yeah, that thing was probably
It was brown. It was,
it was mushy.
brown.
comedian artwork, and
Okay.
he also says it also says that he wasn't sorry and that he considered it an art performance.
So
This is
hard to
telling me
find.
Justin's son ate a banana that was part of Catalan's artwork in Hong Kong. Son bought the artwork at a New York auction for $6.2 million. So the person who bought it ate the banana for lunch for $6.2 million.
Oh, he bought the original installation at a Miami grocery store.
Miami.
Florida man tapes banana to wall.
Can
Sells for $6.2
we go over something else now?
This one's genuinely making
Yeah, we all agree that it sucks. Let's go over something else.
The summary of the banana one is perhaps one of the most infamous modern art pieces. This work consists of a ripe banana duct taped to a wall. It caused an uproar and was even eaten by another artist, further fueling the debate over the meaning of art and whether it has to be more than just a joke.
If people is making this art to mock modern art, I think
Go
that's
off.
hilarious.
Because,
Because you're right. If you are
however,
making these in all seriousness,
the artist himself said that he wasn't sorry for the controversy and said that it was like art expression. He said
Yeah.
that.
What was the expression?
Bananas
I know,
are
but what was the
fun.
meaning behind it?
Bananas are nummy. They're delicious.
But
What if he hates bananas? Maybe he's allergic to bananas, so he's
Said
taking
he
it to
wasn't
the wall.
sorry and that he considered it an art performance.
There was
That's all
no.
he
Where's
said.
the
there was
honest
no reason.
statement?
Like
thought it
there's
was comedy.
Someone give me the honest statement.
again. I don't get it. If
Why can't we just paint on walls like we used to? Why do we gotta be taping bananas to walls?
So this next one,
I seriously want. If we invent time
this
machines,
next one is the
that's
one that me
main
and
thing I
Josee were
want to do.
talking about. That we said you had
Oh,
said
this one
something
makes
about.
me so. It just doesn't even make me upset. It makes me sad.
It's just interesting,
just
and
horrible.
I'm reading a little bit more about this, and I can see how it can be considered art, but I still don't love it.
I just think the
basically,
principles of it are wrong.
there's this American artist. I'm pretty sure it said he was an abstract artist. Basically, this one is called the erased de Kooning drawing. I don't know if I'm saying that right. That is very Americanized. My bad, y'all.
Erased. Well,
We
he
are
is
Americans.
American.
Once
so
again,
obviously
we are
pronounce
just
it.
The
girls.
original artwork was made by William de Kooning. Kooning. I don't know if I'm so American. I'm so sorry. I know that's not how you pronounce it.
Wasn't he American?
such a white girl.
But it's Dutch roots.
Oh,
I'm Dutch. I should know. I don't know.
Dutch.
Distantly.
De Groot, de Kooning. Goodness. He was born in the Netherlands, moved to the United States in 1926. This is an older-ish one, but it's still considered modern art. He painted in a style that came to be referred as abstract expressionism or action painting. His art was pretty well loved. In 1953, there was an artist named Robert Rauschenberg. Robert here
what I do.
took one of these drawings and erased it.
What?
Like a jerk!
I'm sorry. That's
He took this original painting that was loved by many,
Wasn't even his painting. He erased
and
it.
erased it.
wait. He didn't buy it or anything.
He erased
I think it was
the-
it was
what-
in his possession, but he did erase it. That is the equivalent of me taking one of my oil paintings and handing it to you,
and her
and
ripping it.
not even you ripping it, just taking white paint and covering the entire thing and saying, "Look at my new art piece."
That's like if I were to give you one of my grandpa's paintings that was in one of the temples and you painted over it. Like, that's absolutely ridiculous.
Not even
It's
painted
so
something cool
horrible.
over it. Not even painted something.
No,
cool
you
over it.
you did profanities over it.
You didn't even paint
Like, that
over
is
it,
so
because even if you
offensive.
paint over it, in my brain, the painting is still underneath the layer of paint, but he literally got rid
Erased
of
it.
He literally took it off the face of this planet. If you were to do that to your own art piece, okay, maybe that could be art, because that could be like, oh, you're just showing your own art piece, that's kind of interesting. But the fact that you're doing that to another person's art piece without their permission,
Oh, get
that's
okay. Wait,
crazy.
what's
Get
the
this.
statement behind
Get this. No photographs exist of the original work before it was erased.
Are you kidding me?
This has to be like clickbait or like something just to anger people. This has to be anger
Is
people.
this man on death row?
This is how you
'Cause he
pronounce his
should
name.
be.
Rauschenberg. Robert Rauschenberg.
Believe.
Robert
Google.
Rauschenberg.
I hate you.
I hope you lie awake at night and both
I
sides
don't
of
even
your
want to
pillow
pronounce your
warm.
name right.
I know at this point.
I don't care what it sounds like.
I just think that that's just
The
it just makes me upset because it's like, dude, why would you?
It's
not
so
even-
insulting.
You're not even gonna take a picture of it before you erase it? You're not even gonna take a bloody picture of it before you erase
And he
it?
can't claim this is art. He literally cannot claim this is
If
art.
he really wanted to, why would you destroy the original? What thought process was there? Obviously
Make a
none.
print
Make a
out
copy.
and
Obviously
destroy
no
that.
thought process. Like literally make a copy and then erase it and then be like art. Don't get rid of the original copy.
You would be more of an artist if you traced it and erased that. Just
Yes.
erasing the original? What talent do you have?
You're
You
not
can
even gonna-
pick up an eraser?
I'm just confused because
Congrats.
bro wasn't even gonna take a picture of it before he erased it. He didn't
Oh,
think,
you're-
let me snap a quick pic.
This is making me...
He
This
thought-
Are y'all ready to see the statement behind this?
No, I'm actually
No, I
angry.
don't want to.
With the erased de-Kooning drawing, Rauschenberg, is that how he said?
Yeah.
Who cares?
Rauschenberg
I don't care
Rauschenberg.
anymore. We're not asking.
set out to discover whether an artwork could be produced entirely through erasure, which means erasing an artwork. So if artwork could be created by erasing,
It can't.
It wasn't his piece.
The answer is no.
here's my thing. You decided, I just want to try something new, so I'm going to try it with this already.
Well,
He
he didn't make
Somebody
it.
has already put their heart and
My
soul
main
into
thing
it.
is-
I don't care if it's your
If you
own.
feel that strongly that you want to create a piece like
Make your
that,
blood they own.
make it your own. Make it yourself.
That's
Even
what's-
better yet, put a lot of time into it
Yeah.
and make something along the.
Erase, like, certain parts or, like, try to, like, think it out.
On
Just
another,
not...
on another note, if you want to make a statement with something like this, make a piece yourself that took you hours and hours and hours, and then completely erase it, and and record the entire thing. Take pictures before and after, and your art statement can be nothing lasts forever, and that change is always here and it's always around, and and no matter how hard you try, nothing is permanent, and that is bittersweet. That could be so cool.
I completely agree. Or, like...
I think that if he did it with his own art piece, if he did this with his own blood, sweat, and tears, his own work, it would be fine. I would be like, that's actually kind of
Does he
cool.
have-
That's interesting. But the fact that he took someone else's art piece without their permission and destroyed it is crazy.
I mean, yes,
just because
technically he owned it.
Just because he wanted
But-
to test it out.
Doesn't mean he made it. If he owned it, doesn't mean he made it.
If you want to
That's like
experiment,
disrespectful.
go. I don't know. You know how when you're painting, you get a test sheet of like paper to test out the color. Do that. Where's the freaking empathy? Why? Like, think about if you spent so much time on this artwork, literally slaving over it, making it, and then someone just went and destroyed it. Like, do that to your own piece. Gosh, is it that hard? Like, literally, why are you destroying someone's piece that they worked so hard on?
I think that's about all the time we have today. That's all of the controversial pieces we will go over. If this was enjoyable, let me know.
This
and
was
we'll
just
make
a
a part
rant.
two.
Did
We'll
you
make
like
a part
our
two.
yaps, our rant
you
and
like our
yaps?
yap?
Little
Our
rants.
rant and yapsons?
Seriously, let me know if you have any pieces that you want us to talk about. If you want to see us do a episode on art we absolutely adore and why it's so amazing, let us know. And if you have pieces you want us to go over, please reach out to me, let me know, put it in comments or email me. I'm pretty sure my email is in the podcast and the YouTube. So on that note, we're gonna go cry about this.
I'm
not
angrier than I was this morning.
Let's all join hands and take a deep breath.
I'm gonna go home and look at more beautiful pieces of art to distract
Literally.
myself.
Everyone
from
go
this.
take a look at some amazing pieces of art.
Look at Greek art.
All right, this is Nina DeGroot on the Thought Daughter podcast. I'm here with Josee, Ashley, and Brooklyn, and we will see you all next week.